Alex, this is obviously a very thorough search for the new manager. Perhaps you can just explain the process and what led you to John Farrell.
A very lengthy process, and one that we had everybody in the organization get involved in. Practically every department had some type of input and involvement into this, and took about a month to complete, start to finish, but we're very thrilled with the way it did progress, and we're extremely happy and elated to announce John Farrell as the new manager of the Toronto Blue Jays.
How does that sound, manager, Toronto Blue Jays?
Sounds great. This is an outstanding opportunity, not only to come to the city of Toronto, but to join Alex and Paul and share the vision of bringing a World Series back to the Toronto Blue Jays organization.
You've obviously had an extensive background in the game, player, coach, in player development as well. How has that prepared you for this new role as manager?
Well, it's afforded me the opportunity to see the game from different sides. As a member of the front office, understanding what it takes, what goes into the construction of a championship caliber team. So to have some sense of the challenges that Alex has in putting that roster together, and then getting back in the dugout and competing night in and night out to ultimately not only play in October, but to compete for a World Series. So to see both sides of it has given me more of a rounded perspective, and ultimately being able to handle the players day in and day out here in Toronto.
What excites you about this club?
Well, I think the first thing that jumps off the page, or when you sit across the field and you see this team compete night in and night out, it's a very young starting pitching core, but a very talented one. The emergence of Brandon Morrow, the competitiveness of Ricky Romero, Sean Markham, Brett Cecil, just to name the four guys that seem to be carrying the workload this past year, but no one could forget or not understand that the power that this lineup has. So those two aspects, a very good young starting pitching group, a very powerful offense that has been productive over the past couple of years, those are two pillars that we would look to build a more complete team around. Well, our style that we will play here in Toronto is going to be reflective of our roster and the individual strengths of those players that are on that roster. We started with a very good starting rotation from a pitching standpoint, but I think there's going to be opportunities that we'll look to create more runs to go along with a very strong, powerful lineup that was built around the long ball of a year ago. So there's going to be more aggression on the base paths and other ways that we can look to create runs.